We'll see. So, the random conversation part of it would mostly require comments coming in. You can comment about any of this, but so we'll put that on hold. I do have a bit of a sore throat still, and but it's not quite bedtime yet, and I've done other things that I needed to do, so I have some time. So here I am. Now, I haven't looked to notice. I don't think, but like it says all messages, but on the phone it doesn't show an option as to whether to display the live chat after or not. So it may not, but it's not my doing if it hasn't. But I wanted to come and post, as some of you know if you follow my channel, I do have some disabilities, some other challenges. It's very sad. I did a video just about this more specifically, that I mostly feel like I have a lot of ability and potential still. It's just getting accessible opportunities to and time going by. I think that maybe that's changing, and not necessarily all positively. But I wanted to, this throat thing, other than podcasting a lot in my day-to-day, which, I mean, whether it's, talking to myself with a dog, or sending clips to someone, I don't know. It's not any more than usual, really. So I don't know what's going on with my throat. I think and I can almost feel it feels different. But then again, I didn't used to touch my neck a ton either. I think it might be I had a slight infection from dental work. I do think that, which may or may not be part of the other thing, although I've noticed this before too. Like right now, you're lucky I'm even podcasting lately, because, I mean, it is, and then just the condition of things, I don't want to be too detailed, and I don't even really know how I would be. But I might possibly, and I don't know how you'd get this checked other than going to a dentist, and when I went to the dentist, sure, they're looking at the thing that I'm pointing out to them, but you'd think if they noticed something, they'd say so. But I may have, there's someone there for a few seconds, I may have some sort of, I almost hate to say it because G might see it if it's comments that we get afterwards, so better if it's live. And there's one person here, welcome. I haven't been rolling super long. I almost want to save that until there's a few more people. And suddenly there's two more. Works for me. So, welcome. I might have some sort of mouth cancer developing. I'm not sure. But it's sometimes, like, when I kind of, not to get hugely graphic or detailed, but we're all human. We all experience, health stuff, right? But when I kind of scrape my tongue a little bit, it feels more tender than maybe it used to, and I've noticed that every now and then. So I know it's kind of a funky topic to put here, but like I said, I've been to the dentist recently. Again, do I have to specifically point this out, or you'd think that if her and her assistant were, I mean, of course, when they have their stuff all in there, this and that, and they might not see as much, but at first, and in the x-rays, you'd think they'd notice. Although it might just be beginning stages, too. G's sister is passing away Well, it started out as a jaw cancer. She had a surgery. I don't know if it was a cost to do it. Then I think it came back. And now it's, well, and the jaw is a bone, but it sounds like the cancer is just spreading. Um, so, and as a lot of you know, I'm not that old. And if you don't know it, well, you can probably guess, but also I'm not. So, yeah. And anyway, but I mean, I know it is one of those things that a lot of people, go through things connected to the C word. So, if there's something else you'd like to randomly talk about, we can. I've been doing this a bit lately, anonymously, but the other social media that I use, I've been looking at posts sometimes and using them as kind of topics. So I'm looking at one here, posted by an anonymous person with a made-up name, and I don't know how they do that, but anyway, like as far as on this site, not this one, this one. And it says, is anybody interested in talking? I'm an older female of color who needs someone to talk to, just regular talk. First of all, I wonder what regular talk means. Like, people might define that different, and I've never even heard the phrase, I don't think. Unless it just means nothing specific, just whatever. Very nice person, and I love everyone. I'm sorry I didn't mention my background earlier, and I'm not sure why she's apologizing and why she felt like she needed to. But because of the group name, I didn't even think about it, and I don't know what that means either. Until all the beautiful response. I got triggered, not expecting the response I received. Messages I received. I don't know why I should be triggered. There's a huge divide in America and other parts of the world that has affected me badly. But I'm an easygoing person. It's just hard meeting people to talk to about regular things. So I think what my guess was right. And again, I didn't even say the anonymous name or the group name. So, and then she says that she lost her best friend 20 years ago to schizophrenia. I mean, I can't message this person because they don't go by their actual name, so I probably can't click to their account. But I could comment them and go from there. I am slightly curious. What do they mean by lost? Like no longer a friend with? Unfortunately, I've been through that. It wasn't necessarily because he did have schizophrenia, but that wasn't the... and again, she thinks it's important to mention race and how this friend was not of color. I'm, again, not sure why. She feels that's important. Oh, after we retired. So they just didn't stay in touch. She passed away. It's not making sense. This is also an interesting phrase. It's time to unlearn the things you learned from wounded people. That's interesting. It's got 2 comments. What do they say? 50%. Technically, it's not a dating group either, but someone posted 2 different pictures at 2 different angles and 2 different lighting, but I can tell it's the same person because it's the same piercings. And yeah, one anonymous, one not. And then also, she's posting for dating, even though but it doesn't specify that it's not a dating group either, so I don't know. And I guess people could, I don't know. And then there is the, actually you could say BGLR. I don't know if I want to say what it stands for. It's a group online. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily great. I just don't think I want to go to it. Even though I don't know of anything specifically upcoming that I'm hoping for. I mean, I want goodness. I need goodness these days. Like, oh my goodness, do I ever. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. But yes, if there's a random topic that you'd like to talk about, we can talk about that. if there's a song, I was listening to a couple songs just before I started, but they would be tricky to do because one has more than one singer, and it's partly rapped. I don't know who does it, and I'm actually kind of curious. It goes something like, "I need a wish right now," and you left. So, I'm not going to sing it to nobody who's going to, you know. I mean, somebody may see afterwards, but. I need a wish right now. You know what song that is? And then there was another one I heard, which I've already forgotten. And then there was one I heard that I think was, I may know who it was by, but I didn't like it. But if you have a song request, if you have a topic request, feel free to put it. And yeah, in some ways about health, by the way, my health is better or has improved, and in some ways it hasn't. But I'm just, needing a purpose. YouTube is definitely, but I'm needing some purpose in life to really care about my health. To be quite honest, and it's, some people may say volunteering, but and both of you left. Either they got triggered or didn't know what to suggest, but um, it's an accessibility issue, and also winter's coming, and we have pretty bad winters. I don't drive. I'm not a big fan of busing. I can't really afford cabs. So it has to be in walking distance or biking distance. My bike is not winterized, but it's also not winter yet. But I don't know what I'd volunteer doing. I know a lot of people say with seniors. I don't know. It seems to me a lot of the seniors' homes are staff. I don't know if they actually have any volunteers. But it's up, and also, I had a couple of weird experiences with recreation facilitators, which is probably the area I'd want to do it in, perhaps. Hospice. It would be sad. I often say I feel like sometimes I live on the deep end, in ways. But hospice. I mean, it doesn't matter if I didn't know the person. That it would be, I don't know. And then of course with G's sister passing away in hospice, you know, it would just be a constant reminder of that, and after it happens too, if I was doing something like that. Um, a homeless shelter, I don't, I'm not saying it would be bad to volunteer at one. I just don't think that I could. I don't think that that would be something that I'd. Yeah, I'm not sure. Um, as far as with animals, pets, I mean, the Humane Society is very far from where we live. Um, I'm not sure how else I would do that. I could possibly start pet sitting, but I don't really want to pick up after other people's dogs. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get the temperament of dogs, and I don't want to deal with any unfriendly dogs. Um, but I am a dog person. I'm not as much a cat person, and they don't, you know, they need a little bit of, but they're a bit more, I don't know, taking care of people's cats, when they're on holiday. I don't think I really want to clean litter boxes. I don't think, or risk getting scratched by, So yeah, I don't know. These are some of these things I don't know. I haven't thought. I've thought volunteering in a general sense. I was also telling somebody recently that with volunteering, I learned uh, the last time I did such that staff have seniority over volunteers, and you can be on, what they call a probation when you're first starting, and they don't even necessarily tell you. I mean, we had two people here for a while. They're kind of intrigued, it seemed like, but um, I'm just gonna plug this in here, and that keeps coming up lately. It's like I'm mostly past it, but not because I've necessarily substituted it with anything. Um, kind of because, in a similar way that it just did now, also because I was at an event recently and the place had a kiosk table, I guess you would call it. And I've also been kind of near the location a couple times on the way to things. So, but yeah, so I mean, that, I don't know. I'm thinking of topics. You can feel free to suggest some as well. But, and I'm not a winter fan, you know. I mean, a mild, sunny winter day, we just don't really get those all that much. But again, it's not winter yet. I mean, it almost seems like it's an extended summer. Like, I don't know if this would be considered a late fall, but it certainly, if fall doesn't come soon, going to be. But I'm okay with. I mean, I don't hate fall, but a lot of times it's really wet and cold, and then winter's coming after it, right? So I just need to. Okay, you left. Even putting the phone down, I'm still kind of not pouring that very well, but. That was the cold on the top. I think I want this to be actually the majority of it cold, so putting the warmer one on the top. I'm just pouring something and kneading both hands, and then I'll be back on the screen fully. You got two of you here. I don't want to repeat what I just said, but guess what? Here I am. Welcome, glad to have you here. I haven't been rolling super long, and I'm curious if you've ever been to this channel before or how you came across it. It's late at night here, so I might look a little tired, and I am a little tired, but it's not bedtime yet, so here I am. And I didn't have much else to do at this point in time, so yeah, if you'd like to suggest a random topic, feel free. But yeah, that experience that I had, which it's not that I can't take the blame or the fault, it truly wasn't my fault. There were a couple of, I don't know what to call them. They are people. They are people that have flaws and imperfections, as I guess we all do. And they are, in need of, healing from past wounds that I had nothing to do with. We're all in need of healing, and I do have a video about that as well somewhere on here. But, if that makes somebody comment, then I'll just, I'll reply to it. But, yeah, so basically, it tainted me. I think I've talked to my friend Michelle about it. I know I recently told my friend Penny about it. And she very much understood why that would make me hesitant to volunteer at anything again. And I think the other friend that I mentioned understood as well. Although I also thought they'd be the type of person that would still encourage me to try again. And in my past, I volunteered when I was a teenager at a summer camp, playing music and I think a little bit just general. We had 4 people, so all at the same time, but that's like two or three of them, the phone must have died because that was weird. I'm trying to think of what else I've volunteered at. A museum. Maybe I should look for a museum to volunteer at. I know that our awkward, someone that lives kind of across the street from us who's a little bit awkward, and I don't know if I'd say we had an issue with her, but her father, I mean, she's in her 20s and her father was overprotective. I mean, I was, I came to their place wanting to ask a question about something. I didn't know them very well, and they didn't know why I was coming, and decided to just assume that I was being odd or whatever. I don't know. And just not very neighborly. And she works or volunteers at one. This was a while ago. She might not still. I don't know. But I might look into that. Maybe that's something to do on the rainy day tomorrow. Huh. Because that could be kind of fun. I will miss Josh, who also volunteered at one, and I'm pretty sure, or worked at one with his brother, and I'm pretty sure has passed away. But that's in another town. So, but I think there might be some nearby. One might be predominantly very French speaking, and I'm not. But it's kind of funny that I live in a French area, not in France, but my brother lives in France. Half sibling. But yeah, no, I'll look into the museum idea. I like that. Or like maybe some sort of art gallery. Whoops. There's a place nearby that I thought was an art gallery, and I think maybe it used to be. Maybe it's not anymore. Now it's a massage clinic. I could volunteer there. Just kidding. But maybe. I don't know. What would I do? Put out towels? Change sheets? I don't know if they would have volunteers doing that. And I don't know if that's what I'd want to do. And if I was to volunteer at something too, I would love the possibility to work up to being hired. And in some places, either I wouldn't be qualified because of how society looks at, some things I think you definitely need certain qualifications. Other things I think you could learn. And yes, this is just water that spilled on my shirt if you happen to notice that and wonder. Whatever. Yeah, so... But I've often thought about leading tours too, in which my mother once said, well, you'd need a fine arts background or whatever. It's like, no, I'd need a script and people to lead. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what I said to her afterwards, but it certainly should have been. And she's like, well, I'm not sure. But, like I was kind of close to the art gallery the other day. It's, in the winter, again, it would be a bit tricky. It's not super far, but, actually, and if that's a paid position, even better. It's just being in this stagnant rut for a while. It really has affected my my health in some ways. I get very fatigued pretty fast, kind of. So, or often. So, I mean, and I think it's maybe affected how I process things. Although that could be autism spectrum, as well. But like, if it's really busy, hectic environments, again though, if I was focusing on leading a tour, I mean, the best of us will get distracted sometimes. I certainly have more attention span than a lot of people that tune in for a few seconds at the top, but that, that again could be their phone died or something came up in their environment. But I'm glad to have someone here. I haven't been rolling that long. And we got someone here now, and I'd love to have a little bit of a chat. If there's a random topic you'd like to suggest. I've covered the health stuff, I think, as much as I can think to at the moment. And yeah, if you have a song request, I could maybe do that too. I'm musical, so I just keep glancing because I'm also looking... see if I have any ideas that maybe I see on this device. And the only thing I'm thinking I could click into, because the topic of listening could be a thing. We got two people here. If you heard that thing that I mumbled, because I wasn't sure if it was something I wanted to talk about in this or not. If you heard it, or you think you heard it, feel free to make a guess. And if you're right, maybe we'll talk about it. Otherwise, you can suggest another topic or a song. And they both laughed. And maybe that seemed sketchy or secretive. No, I wasn't saying anything bad. Again, I really only mumbled it because I didn't know whether it was something I wanted to talk about in this or not. Whether it's something that's bad or not is up to an individual opinion, really. And I feel like kind of deep in one of my long videos recently, I maybe did kind of talk about it a bit. But if there's something you'd like to talk about, and if you'd like me to give an idea, let me know. And, yeah. Been quite a few dancers along the top. Are you a dancer in this world? I wonder if I could find that song. He did pretty well with his music career locally. I don't know about non-locally. And so he wasn't exactly famous, but I'm going to try and find a song here. Yeah, I hate to ask if you don't stay, tell me why. But I'm so curious. Like, because I don't want to suggest it either. What was his name again? Right. Well, I'm going to see if I can find this song online, but you can suggest other ones that may be more likely that I'd find. I could probably find a video of him on... I could do it that way, actually. And I might just do that. I don't know if it would be copyrighted, but he's, as far as I know, just a local musician. So, he probably just played local... I don't know. And I searched chords, and it doesn't hop out right away. Yeah, I'm going to look it up on the book of... on this other site. Just a moment. I have to put the phone down for a moment. Well, I don't have to, but... I mean, it's autistic. And I'm autistic. And artistic. And a photographer. Okay. What am I doing here? Okay. But yeah, if you have a topic or song request, feel free. I'm just briefly looking at this other device to see if I can find a video. The guy passed away a little while ago, so he hasn't... Oh, right, because I bought that guy. He hasn't posted recently, so I might be able to find the video I'm looking at on his page pretty quickly. And he was a perfect example of just being a really nice person. Didn't know me very well, but tried to offer me some support in a couple of things. I mean, it's possible that, you know, he also related to having a loved one having similar struggles, because a lot of people do. He's actually got somebody else's obituary on his page, but I don't know them. That's a whole topic in itself, though, you know. Just looking to see if I can find a particular song here. And I'm seeing things on his page that I don't remember seeing before, but, like, they're not, like, within the past 2 or 3 years. And like I say, he passed away, so he hasn't been posting since. Is there a video tab? Let me just see here. Sorry for my hat. No, that's going to scare you. I'll put it back on. I'll do it for you. And it also just isn't brushed. Yeah, do you have a topic idea, a song request? I can roll for another half hour. Approximately. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the video, the song that I was thinking of as quickly as I expected to. Because I came across it before, quicker, I thought. But I was looking on a computer then. Now I'm looking with a tablet, so I don't know, maybe it's different. I don't know if I just came across a post of a YouTube video. I don't know if I'd find it interesting or not. It's somebody who's written theme songs. And I know one of them, and I've heard of one of the movies, and I've not heard of 2 that it mentions. She looks a little bit like my mother, so I don't know if that's awkward or not. Anyway, I don't think I'm finding it, so... And I can only remember the small part of it. Are you a dancer in this world? I almost remember the next line, but yeah, I need something more mainstream that I can cover, that I can look up the chords for. So feel free to suggest. I think I've got chat on. Yep. You know, I do enjoy doing these myself. I enjoy them even more when people aren't so ADHD or whatever at the top, and when they're engaging, you know. But I can't make them either. Oh, yes, I can. Just kidding. He also has some potential song ideas on his page. Not a ton, though, but do you have a favorite TV theme song? Because that kind of idea has kind of came up a couple times today. Other than that, oh, is this maybe it? I'm just, it's not it, but I'm wondering what it is. Something classical by the looks of it. So I'm curious if I haven't been rolling super long. I'm curious if the person that's tuned in at the top has been here before in this video, and if so, why you haven't said anything yet. And two, I'm just curious. And two, if you've seen any other videos on this channel. Glad to have you here. Yeah, okay, yeah. You're like, not glad to be here. I can't see why not. We got unintentionally chest hair happening. Beauty, that's just healthy confidence that I sometimes have. Friendliness. And if I get a song request, music. Let me just check something quickly. Although I know that this person works in the... Oh, she is online now, though, so just a moment. Works in the morning. Well, the one day she didn't, though, so... Okay, I'll give that a few moments to see how it goes. I guess I already went from Jerry's page, so I guess that's that. Maybe it's meant to be. I thought that said 2. And I haven't clicked in, but now this has a bunch of new ones. Although that's not new. Some people, they either aren't very observant or don't care what somebody goes by, whether it's something doubled. I mean, on here, people have channel names and handle names, but on this site, like, if it's not, I don't know. It's just weird. Okay, the person I was going to invite in, it's nice. She's a new friend, and we have a mutual, and she said twice we'll talk tomorrow. She talked a little bit today. I was out briefly, and we didn't talk a ton, but she's unable to tune in because she says it's been a very busy day. She's going to bed. You know, and each time it could be a different person, so that's why, you know, I sound so repetitive sometimes, because, yeah, this is about, you know, well, it says random conversation, so that pretty obviously, I think, says people can contribute topic ideas. I don't know if I put end music, but at the same time, if I wasn't doing this, I may fall asleep. I'm getting tired doing it, though, to be honest. It's too early to. I'd be up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I don't have to be in that craziness. And it's just not a routine. So, we can talk about routine. There's a topic. What are your thoughts around routine? And I would think that most of us find it helpful, but then I suppose some of us live such hectic lives where we'd find it difficult to incorporate a routine in our life. I wouldn't necessarily, and probably could stand to have a bit more. I do have some, but maybe some daily routine, like during the day. I kind of don't like to box myself in, for lack of a different way to put it, that much. Like, I do appreciate the evening routine that I have, but I kind of think I'd struggle during the day with it. It's not, I mean, somebody briefly there, they kind of thought it was a good idea, maybe. It's not that I don't have the discipline. Well, maybe it is a little bit. And, forming new habits, right? Like, again, it's, accessibility, weather changing. It's like, I'm not much for like going to the gym. I know a lot of people have a fitness routine. I could do some other sort of fitness maybe. Like, I might want to try and get a few more bike rides in before the end of the year. Before winter, rather. And the end of the year. Again, I'm pretty sure I have chronic fatigue syndrome. So, like, it doesn't take much. Maybe a yoga routine or meditation, some people would say. Yes, whether I'm leading one or doing one, I would like to do more guided meditations. Came up on a friend's post, but I don't think she has replied yet. But do kids meditate these days, and I just don't know it? I would think that most of them couldn't, but maybe a lot of them are really good at it. I mean, there are hyper, for lack of a better word, bratty ones, and then there are pretty calm and well-behaved ones, so those ones might meditate. Yoga, a lot of people say, oh, you have to be certain kind of flexible for that, and I wouldn't disagree. And the singing bowls, I don't mind them. They're not enough of a thing for me to meditate with. Like, they can kind of maybe get me kind of like as like a before meditation thing and an after meditation thing, but I need guided or something. And what do you think would be some good meditation topics? One, because I'd like to look some up, and two, because I'd like to do some. We had somebody there briefly. Oh, it's either back or somebody else is here. So that's a topic: routine and meditation topics. Two different topics, or possibly together. Either connected or just both. Thoughts? But yeah, yoga, it's also a bit to me of my past. But, and I also don't have great balance. I mean, not the worst, but, and I mean, some people may say, well, doing these things, starting slow, improves those things. And I don't know if I'm past the point of being able to improve those things or not. I agree. But I'm looking for things that would be pretty easy from the start. because I have any challenges. I don't have, um, I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound a certain way when I say this, but I don't have the, I don't have the patience to, I feel like I don't anyway, to get good at doing certain poses, and to, stretching routines, qigong, maybe. Um, what was the other thing I said? Meditation. Um, yeah. What are either some of your routines or some of your wellness hobbies, things you do for, you know, yeah. There's a phrase that is common, but I think it's sounds a little odd. But it is kind of what it is though in some ways. Um, I would prefer actually self care than another word that I'm thinking of. Not because it's not necessary sometimes. It's just I think that some people overdo it, and I don't know. I just don't like the word. But okay, if that happens a few more times in the next 5 minutes, when someone comes for like 5 seconds and goes, I'm gonna wrap up because that's kind of confusing and annoying. But I think I've told myself a couple things I'm gonna do tomorrow though. The museum thing and maybe meditation. I really need to do some housework. Like I do the basics. I kind of avoid. Well, it's so easy to get on a device and be distracted. And when you don't have a lot of other responsibilities, sometimes it's easy to do that for long periods of time. Even with ADHD, the internet is designed to hop around on. I am actually just going to switch the lighting in this room, and hopefully it won't be too dark. Because when the other person in the home was down here, he wanted the light on for something, and I was saying that my eyes were feeling a bit sensitive to it tonight because I'm tired and that. But then he went upstairs. I started this, and for quite a while, forgot that I wanted to adjust that. But oof. I forget what I was saying. If I completed my thought or not. Well, you know what? He probably wouldn't. Well, he tries to get to bed early, and it's not Friday. But I see. This is with routine. It's like I don't care if it's Friday or not. I'm almost 40, and it's like unless there's a real good reason to stay up late, or I get into a certain groove doing something, it's kind of like I want to go to bed the same time I usually do. And we do have a somewhat morning meeting thing, kind of, sort of, in the morning on Saturday, and want to sleep in and then do one or two things beforehand. So, yeah, this weekend, well, we can't Friday, but yeah, if he was to come down and say I want a podcast, I'll say, well, I just finished one and it was pretty quiet. But I don't feel like when we watch videos we should go by the statistics. Doesn't necessarily mean the content isn't good. There are so many reasons. People's devices die, people have an emergency come up, people judge too quickly, like the one that just left. Like, yeah, that's happening. I gotta plug in my device and I just got a text message that I'm worried about. Who knows? Maybe, right? And I'm certainly not saying pick me over those two things especially, because those are understandable things. But if there's no good reason and you're just doing either to play around or just judging too quickly, I mean, I don't know. I think people can do better than that. Just a thought. Just a thought as a content creator who, not all the time, but somewhat often notices this. Of course, I'm saying it when there's currently nobody here, but I started saying it when there was. So there is that. But yeah, so if you have a topic suggestion or a song request, I've covered a few things here. Again, we can't go by statistics. We got to go by our own personal opinions and feelings about things. I did a video earlier today, actually, where I asked, I forget how I worded it, but it was something about, yeah, I can't remember exactly, then I'll just tell you to see that one later if you'd like. But with this one, it's random topics, it's song requests. Could say what's an unpopular opinion that you have. I may agree with it, I may not, you know. What's an unpopular opinion that I have? I've never thought of that. I don't think I really have many. I don't think that, I think I have a lot of common opinions that a lot of people would have. I mean, certainly not everybody, but it depends what we're talking about. Um, I feel like it was asked in the opposite way, but maybe it wasn't. So I'll do this again, and I'll say, what is something that you're curious about my opinion about? That's kind of a neat way to kind of get into a topic. I'll let you say it in the chat, which I'm pretty sure is on. I did notice that YouTube does not have, or at least on some devices, does not have autoplay or multitask mode anymore. Have you noticed this? But as far as I know, chat should be working. So what would you like my opinion on? I've already given my opinion about the flashes at the top, including the ones that stay for like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, they get into it, and then what's the excuse, you know? Again, I gotta remind myself, and any content creator should, that if they're noticing that, like if the numbers are, you know, just a few at a time or 1 or 2 at a time, and they're attentive to it, and they have an eye for detail, and they're noticing that, to realize that it's not always your fault, it's not always personal. Sure, maybe, but I think it's better to think that it's not. It's more motivating because it's certainly otherwise not, and it's possible that, you know, that it might not be. So, what is something you'd like my opinion on? Whether it's something that, you know, that, at least it looks like it. And that's the other thing. Sometimes that's not accurate, but you're going through in life or just in general. See, like I say, I did that topic earlier today. I wasn't on it for very long before I went to the other topics, but let me sit here and think for a moment. What is something that I'd like a viewer's opinion on? I mean, again, it's not like I don't ask people questions on here, but let me see if I can be a bit more specific. See, if I say name a topic, then I might as well also say, well, maybe. Nobody's here at the moment, so. In a way, I kind of do already ask that fairly often. Yeah, I do. So it's almost not worth it. I mean, it might be somebody different that hears it this time that hasn't heard me ever ask it before, but it's, well, I mean, I guess I could have started it maybe 20 or 30 minutes earlier. I don't remember if it was up that long before I started, and then maybe Don could have came in, but um, so what's a topic that you'd either like my opinion on or something specific you'd like my opinion on, or just to hear an opinion on, which would be coming from me. So, and then you can also say yours. Yeah. Sometimes the podcasts are a little slow and quiet, but I was about to say, let's make it worth it. Oh, you maybe came back, or somebody else here. Let's make this worthwhile. You know, this has been a bit of a slow and quiet one. But let's make it worthwhile by having at least a few minutes of nice chat. Yeah, I can probably roll for about 15 more minutes. I maybe could go upstairs and roll for another 15, but I'm certainly not just going to have the flashers at the top and none of them even like them. And that's not going to keep me wanting to keep rolling tonight. Just want to take a closer look at this. Oh, right. So I just noticed, and I've noticed this a couple times, which must mean it's filming in our area. There is a casting call for something, and it says a certain word, and then it says films, which is not what I thought this, which it says at the top, this guy's thing was. They've done a couple things that I thought were unkosher. Also, he once had one of his constituents on one of his projects that I did do call to verify something and said, by the way, we just wanted to, ask you to email us. It was a dozen emails when there was like 4. And they weren't all to the same people either, I don't think. But let me just take a quick look at this. Diversity encouraged for all roles. I just want to see if this might be an acting opportunity for me. A commercial. Okay. And of course, they're very specific about what they're looking for, who type of look. Photo of your hands and nails. That's kind of odd. But it's like for a store commercial, so I guess I just want to make sure you have nice hands and nails, and I do. So... So I don't know if I'd be considered to have a great smile since I'm missing a tooth. It had to be pulled. It's almost 2 in a row, but that one was amazingly actually fixable. To me, it sounds like, they're judging people's hands and smiles, but I kind of get it. And what they want the person doing is actually similar to a job I've had. I've heard of this production company before, which is why I would say one day full shoot, $800, might actually be legit. Said close to the age. Well, 30s. Well, if we're talking 38, 30, well then I am that. Certainly not in my 20s anymore, and I'm certainly not in my 60s. I'm just looking at a casting call about something, but if you'd like to suggest a topic or you'd like to suggest a song, I can do it to wrap this up. You know, what I don't like about these things is they never say specific location, so it's like, am I going to be easily able to get to it? What was the date? Let me just look. It's not jumping out. Okay. Yes, my mother would be back by then. Oh, that's the deadline to submit, so it would be after that date then. And probably, if it's a daytime thing, if with an agent, the agency fees will be in addition to the rates noted. I think I get that, but I'm not sure. Just looking at a casting call. Digital audition, so that's good, I guess. I know something you said about the industry earlier today, but again, just because it could be somebody different that's in here right now, just looking at a casting call that I came across on my other device here. But do feel free to come into the chat and we can chat. It's not meant to look like ghost stories. I know my face is lit up in a certain way. But let me just, yeah. I'm trying to figure out if this is an opportunity I should try for or not. I mean, $800 would be nice. If I was in my 20s, I could make $1,000 at it. If I was a male, and actually the female gets paid less, which some people, feminists may say certain things, but you know what? A lot of things have changed since the olden days. And I will agree that it does sound a little bit... Okay, but one's 2 half days and one's only 1 half day for some weird reason. So it's actually probably more so that than any other reason. Just looking at a casting call, but you're welcome to say hi in the chat and we can talk for a few minutes, or I can do a song for you if you like to hear something. That's very specific. Says a warm and relatable family dynamic, baking twice baked potatoes. Why do you have to bake them twice anyway? I never made them that way, I don't think. It's a lot of, this is all for a commercial? That's a huge cast. Man, they're literally dishing it out. Well, okay. It says this date or this date. Next month. Well, it's got me intrigued, and it was posted 4 hours ago and hasn't had any reactions. Oh no, sorry, 6 hours ago, and hasn't had anybody on it yet. I might need some help processing this, actually, if you'd be so kind. Okay, so in the, or if you can use Google, because I have this open on this device and this open on this device. Okay, yeah. Anyway. I don't know what SOC roles means. It's interesting. I will say, though, that what this is a commercial for is a store that I didn't shop at the store, but I got some things in a hamper. And one of the things I got was a zucchini carrot chocolate loaf. I've only had a small piece so far. Tasted pretty similar to banana bread, really. But yeah. Okay, so I can do it. I can do pictures of my hands and nails. It says hands slash nail. Okay, that's hands on. What always gets me is resume. Whether it's for a job because I don't have a lot of work experience, I have held jobs for a while, and then I've been out of work for a while, and for a while I was on disability, and in fact I'm back on it. And then, like I say, part of me feels like I even more reason to be now than even then. Um, so when they ask for a resume, probably acting resume, I mean, I've been in some things. It's just been a long time, and I would hope that they would say, okay, it seems like they could use to have an update in a recent opportunity, but then they might also say, well, I don't want to jinx things, because I do believe that's a thing, but they might also say, um, you haven't done anything recent, so. They don't know me as that. So, um, and they don't really keep track of the people that do the projects that closely, I don't think. I know I mentioned there was that slight thing that happened last time I did one of their projects, but they still had me do it. I never saw it because I don't have Crave. I don't know what else it was on. And I didn't know if it actually interested me all that much, but it may have. But, it says important notes. Please read all the directions carefully and follow the directions in the casting call. Well, yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to send, because I have old devices and this and that. Well, I could do it on YouTube actually, maybe. I wouldn't be able to engage with the viewers, but a lot of them don't engage. I mean, sometimes, like don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do, but but I don't know, because then they could check out other content. Not that that would necessarily be bad. But they're like, this guy seems like he has a lot of potential and it's not being reached. I don't know if they take that much time to look, but at least I can use its storage. Or if I can still do it on my Facebook, I could do it there. Otherwise, it might be tricky. I might be able to record, like, as an email attachment, video attachment. I might be able to record them, but it would have to be short. It's about produce. And I think that would be the role I'd most likely try for. Or possibly the only one I could. Because I'm guessing that is probably that. Or this. Whoops. It says, one friend, 2 half days, 2 friends, 1 half day each of filming. So, home tape instructions. We are supposed to be preparing a meal for our family in the kitchen. Okay. Show us the simple everyday. I don't know what that means. Okay. 2 lines down. Joy of cooking with fresh produce. Washing, chopping, slicing, cooking a produce focused meal. End with a net. Okay, but this is. See, shouldn't your audition video depend on the role? Like it says here, the store employee. In the filming, it says that we'll be seen stocking shelves and setting up produce bins. Well, I mean, I don't really have those kind of shelves, or much shelves. Well, no, those kind of shelves or produce bins in my home. So unless I go say, can I film in your store for a moment just to do an audition? But that would be, I don't know. Maybe. But then I only have Wi-Fi. Well, maybe. But yeah, so it says here... And I don't know why they're wanting photos of hands for this casting call when you could just do the video of it too. But to me it doesn't make sense if I am auditioning as the store employee to be, and people say, okay, so it makes sense. Well, no, but I think I'm misunderstanding this. To be showing myself cooking. Don't you love when things are kind of confusing? I mean, they put some effort into this post, as I have with this video and any of my videos, but I'm still not following it. Rates are for full video and photo usage in perpetuity. Don't know what that means. Paid rehearsals may be required and compensated. You know, in some ways, this is just when it makes sense and you can get it. These are just fun projects to get. Like, you know, yes, we all need money to survive, and money is a nice added perk. But, like, you know, and hey, if they want to pay me to do rehearsal, I wouldn't complain. But I'd also say, save yourself some money. I'm just happy to have the opportunity. And even people that get them fairly often, I would hope the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to watch this back later and pull up my questions and comment the post. What is interesting is that it's posted in a neighborhood group, which might make me think that the filming is being done in the neighborhood. I recently didn't get two up. One, because they were almost finished a project. And two, they just might not have seen the text message in time. But there was two nearby, which was a real kicker. It was so convenient. But, yeah, I didn't get the opportunity. But those were the reasons why, really. It wasn't even anything personal. The person that posted this, I can't tell if she works for the production or not. Anyway, I might wrap this up soon. I'm just going to put the phone down very briefly. If you have a song request or a topic request for us to talk about for a few minutes before I wrap this up, feel free to put it in the chat. Don't go by the statistics. It's just one of those quiet ones. I'm almost actually wondering if I'm wrapping up.